Hi guys, welcome back to the Over... Ew, that sounded nasty. But like in a good way. Welcome back to the Overanalyzer, guys. The podcast where we overanalyze movies, kind of, but really we just talk about it surface level because we're not film critics. We're just three dudes that like to talk and hear our own shitty opinions, myself for sure included. Next to me on my right, your left, is my brother, Acel Delgado.
Hey.
He is a town-renowned filmmaker and documentary film style maker. And then to my left, your right, my center is Jose Ladera, who is a town-renowned musician, composer, filmographer, and single ladies. Don't be afraid to snatch him up.
You're giving him too much credit with filmmakers. It's just a drone.
I didn't say filmmaker, did I?
You did.
I'm going to say photographer / camera operator. DP, director of photography.
He flies the drone.
Don't do that. Give him credit.
Why are you trying to downplay me, bro?
I know.
It's because I know it costs you so much money. So, what movie are we talking about? 3, 2, 1.
Tenet.
All right.
Good job, Jose.
So this movie had been delayed a couple times, and then I thought it was hopeless that I'd be able to see it. And then I was told by my fiance that it's out, and then I don't think anybody I work with would watch this, so I ditched work just so I could go watch it.
You work with a bunch of dummies, don't you? He nodded yes, by the way.
All right.
I like that you skipped work to watch it. That adds to the story.
Yeah.
So I skipped work. I found out, I want to say, on a Tuesday or Monday. And then I messaged her, I want to say Wednesday when I was working. And then I was like, look, I need you to stop saving the message on Snapchat. I need to tell you something. She's like, what? What's happened? I was like, I'm going to ditch work tomorrow. And I was like, I need you to keep it cool. You know, we're going to sneak out. And she's like, oh my God, I thought you were in trouble. I was like, no. And then, we discussed it further. And then, yeah, I ditched work. It was a mission, But
Okay.
anything to see the movie.
Yeah. I watched it with people. It was you guys. No, it was Jose and Daniel Strode. And when we watched it, I thought the movie was very fresh. Damn, it actually synced up at the end.
Good.
That was really well timed.
All right. Trailer, how do you say it?
What about it?
Trailer impressions? I
I
rewatched
didn't-
the trailer a couple times. The first one, because I was like, yo, like the first thing we
Dude,
ever
I
seen
saw-
other than that teaser.
I
Yeah,
saw
that
that
first trailer was dumb.
I saw that trailer like remade in GTA 5.
No, that's the teaser. I'm talking about the actual trailer.
Oh, the actual trailer?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought the teaser was dumb.
Why'd you think it was dumb?
I don't know. It just, I don't know. Okay. It didn't make sense to me why this guy was moving through this room backwards and fighting him,
Look, man.
And then the bullets appeared, and I was like, oh, man, it's another dumb time travel movie or some dumb bullshit like that, is what went through my head.
Look, you got to go with what Raji was telling me. He's like, look, Christopher Nolan could put out a piece of paper, a rock, have them interact, and fucking Nolan fans will love it.
No, I
That's
mean,
true.
you're absolutely right. And when
I loved it.
Look, when I saw that it was a Nolan film, I was like, shit, I'm going to end up watching this movie anyway.
You were like that friend that talks shit about someone, and that person's like, what'd you say, homie? And you're like, nah, nothing, dude. I love you.
It wasn't like that. It was like,
Something comparable.
maybe. I mean, because I've liked Christopher Nolan's work in the past, so I was like, well, fuck, all right, I got to give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, give that man a chance to wow me again.
Dude, yeah, I think I'm going to, what's it called? Edit my quote to sound cooler. I think Christopher Nolan could film a football match, and that's English football, and fans would still be like, here's 10 things you missed in that football match. Did you notice the shape of the Quidditch?
Did you notice the emblem? Did you notice the emblem on the football?
Yeah. Did you notice
The shape of the goal at the end of the movie?
If you recognize the goalie, you're not alone. Here's the other games he's appeared in.
Yeah.
So we enjoyed the trailers. Did they change your impressions on the movie, or did it fit well?
Dude, as soon as I saw it was Nolan, I was like, I'm set. I'm good. I don't need to watch another trailer. I'm gonna watch them, but I don't need to. The same thing happened with Interstellar. I saw like that stock footage trailer with like a couple of like actual film scenes, and I was like, it's Nolan. Bet. All right, cool. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I'll watch the trailers, but I'm sold, man.
Yeah. I honestly, when I watched the trailer for Interstellar, I was like, whoa. We got all right guy going to space. I was like, this is either gonna be a great movie or a fucking terrible movie.
Why do I feel like that's every time like Nolan makes a movie? It's like this could be the greatest thing ever, or it could be shit.
I mean, he hasn't really had any terrible movies. I mean, there's been movies that haven't been the best, like Interstellar, and I think Tenet. Okay, so Interstellar's like a 72 or 77. I'll post it on the screen on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, okay,
and then Tenet, I want to say was like around 80 or high 70. I'll post that on too.
Really, more people like Tenet than they did Interstellar?
Well, no, that's the critics' Rotten Tomato score.
Yeah,
Because audience score through the roof.
For all of them.
For most, I don't know. I can't say. I'll check them and then I'll post them on the screen.
Yeah.
So, trailers were good. I feel like there's nothing that can really change your opinion on the trailers towards the movie because it's like, well, I'm gonna watch the movie anyways. You know, he checks these trailers to make sure that they won't ruin anything for us.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And even then, like, there's parts of the trailer that, like, why didn't I see that coming? I saw it in the fucking trailer.
Exactly. Or then it's like, oh, that thing in the trailer makes a little more sense.
Right.
All right. So let's go through a spoiler-free review. Just, one of those quick ones.
Sure.
All right. So what do you think about Tenet? Non-spoiler review. If you want somebody to watch the movie.
So I would say I would repeat what the trailer says. Don't try to understand it. Feel it. And by that I mean, like, don't try to, like, get bogged up in, like, the logistics of inversion, how it works. And don't get bogged up in, in the beginning part, because it doesn't really matter. I've always said a good movie you can watch without the sound and still follow along and be like, oh, damn. Like, obviously, this sounds very important. But if you take out the major part, like that major part, it's good.
So I guess my spoiler-free review would be piggybacking on yours with the quote from the trailer. Don't understand it, feel it. Mine would also be that it's a take on the espionage film, because it's an espionage film, and Christopher Nolan says those are his favorites. But it's an espionage film with a U-turn.
Yeah, I guess so. Jose, what did you think?
So, spoiler-free review of the movie, I would say...
To try to get somebody to watch it.
If someone asked you, should exactly. I was thinking about watching Tenet. You've seen it. What do you think?
I think it's a good movie. I think that if you like movies that'll kind of, like, take you for a ride and take you for a spin, then it's a good movie. But I wouldn't recommend it to everybody because, it can be hard to follow.
Yeah.
Is the only thing I can... That's really the only negative things that I have to say about the movie, is that it's just hard to follow. We'll get to that later. But overall, I would say it's a good movie. I'd say you should watch this movie because there's a lot of really great action in it. And that's probably how I would sell it to somebody.
Probably something that I would want to add to his is saying that, like, oh, it's a good movie. But I would say, like, oh, if it gets a little too confusing, I feel like watching it another time would probably help you understand it a bit more.
Yeah, watching it a second time helps you understand it.
Yeah. Which I still haven't gotten to do, but I'm sure I'll get a chance to soon.
All right, so now we're going to do a spoiler-filled rundown of the whole movie.
From top to bottom.
All right, so let's start.
From the top, make it... Anyway, so I honestly didn't know what the fuck was going on in the Opera House scene. I don't know why they were there. I don't know
why you're asking these questions. It's an Opera House, Christopher Nolan. You got to trust him.
I know, here's the thing. He doesn't
do it for no reason.
I did. It's like when, like, your partner pulls out the strap on, it's like, just trust me. You're like, I don't know what's going on here, but I guess, okay.
I would be like, do you have enough credible success for me to trust you right now? Have you made other movies?
And then your partner would be like, remember the octopus maneuver? And you're like, oh yeah, that's right. So remember the raven maneuver? And you're like, oh yeah. All right, let's do this.
All right, so let me explain this in chronological order, going with the film, so then later it makes a bit more sense. So at the Opera House, it's the CIA unit that the protagonist is with, and that's why they don't have the patches. And then they see the cops, they're like, oh, here are the patches. They pass them out.
I did see that part.
Okay, so you understood that part. Then they go in there.
That part confused me because I was like, does that mean that they're the bad guys just trying to fit in so they can do their thing?
Well, they're CIA.
I also thought the same thing.
I can understand why you think that with the Russian, but I think it's because they're international. He's like their international contact. Right. So here's what it is. They go in the Opera House, then once they breach in, they go around and they go to, like, the suites. And then that's when the protagonist takes out that one guy. And then what does he say? He says, we live in a twilight world. The guy's like, what?
There are no friends at dusk.
We live in a twilight world. And then he says,
there are no friends at dusk.
And then he's like, you've been made. The siege is a coup or like a diversion to take you out. And then he gets him out. And then he gets something in his backpack. He gets a little cube. Doesn't know what it is yet. We'll explain it in a bit.
Wait, he got the...
The guy had the cube.
From the algorithm.
Exactly. So here's
Wow,
what,
really?
So here's what happens. Did you not follow that?
Well, here's the thing: is the second time I watched it, I didn't see that part, the opera house scene again, because I went to go get snacks.
Okay, so
Honestly, I saved you from that the first time.
So he gets the guy out, and then they're making their way through the crowd because they have bombs. Or no, they get the guy out, then they have him change his clothes. They have another guy change his clothes, and then they're like, "There's bombs out there," and I was like, "Okay, we got to get rid of them. They're timed." So then they go get the bombs, and then the protagonist gets stopped by a guy putting the bombs out. I want to say it might be before. I might be out of order, but then the guy like takes off his patch, and he knows he's not with them.
Yeah.
And then an inverted bullet, or somebody kills him. Somebody has an inverted bullet. You see a guy with the keychain with a backpack run off. They throw the bombs, and then they make their way out as it explodes, get into the van. And then the Russian guy that was telling them, wake up the Americans, fucking shoots the guy who's the diversion.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's not him, and then they take him. They're on the train tracks. Turns out their CIA Connect internationally was working for somebody else.
Ooh.
Looking for the algorithm.
Okay.
So the whole thing was to get a piece of the algorithm.
It was they wanted to get the guy, take him out, get the algorithm.
So how do you know that the CIA was working with somebody else? Because I didn't catch on to that part.
I don't think it was the CIA. I think the guy worked for the CIA, but betrayed him for the highest bidder.
Not necessarily that he was part of the CIA. Maybe he was their international contact, their liaison.
Gotcha.
Yeah, So I
said that really annoyingly.
So they got him at the train tracks. I think they're waiting for the CIA. I feel like that part's hard to hear because of the trains. Mm-hmm. And then they're like torturing the guy. He's like, "Oh, your guy didn't last 18 minutes, but that's because he doesn't know what you know." Because they want to look for the algorithm, I think.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to torture him. His partner has that cyanide pill, and then he fucking leans forward, fucking takes that shit, and like, no, and then fucking dies. Title card.
Real quick, can we talk about that fucking sound design?
You mean how like they fucking whispered the whole time?
Yeah, the music or like the background noise is loud, and then like some characters like they'd be saying something, but you couldn't really make out what they were saying.
Listen, part of me wants to think it's because there's no subtitles. We're a subtitle world, right? Another thing is we're in theaters, so maybe they boost up the bass. They boost up the sound.
I agree. Like that's why I wanted to watch it in IMAX, because I remember in IMAX when I saw Interstellar, I could make out damn near everything they said, and the way
it's
like
an
the
improved
sound
system.
yeah, and the way it was mixed in sound, like with like that whole surround sound and everything. It added to the experience. Like I could damn near feel the chairs rumbling from the bass, but it didn't distort any of the actual dialogue, tracks.
You might have sold me on IMAX, bro. Because damn, that movie was hard to hear at times.
So I'm gonna do a quick rundown. They bring the guy back to life, repair his teeth, and he tells him about another national interest that he wants the guy to partake in. The protagonist tells him about TENET, and then the hand gesture. I'm gonna put it up on screen right now.
By the way, the hand gesture never shows up again except for like once, and even then it wasn't saying TENET. But go ahead.
After that, it shows up 2 more times.
I didn't care.
When he meets that one lady, we're gonna get to it. We're just gonna start when he meets that one lady, showing him the inverted bullets, and then Priya. She's holding her glass and she's like this, and then he also does it.
I didn't catch that, and I didn't catch that with the lady either.
All right, so we're with the lady. The guy was in a silo. Then he's been activated and to follow his mission. He's got like a high visible vest.
Right. Sorry to pause you right there, but damn, I just realized I would not cut it out in TENET because I wouldn't have caught that. I would have just been like murking people. That or someone would have accidentally said TENET, and I would have been like, I can trust you. Bah! Knocked out.
Yeah.
I don't know, but even then the guy said you got to use it carefully. And then,
that's right, because like when he's talking to the Russian guy and the Russian guy says it, he's like, he doesn't say anything back.
Is that Walt Whitman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the guy says it, and I was like, huh. But then he's like, oh, is that Walt Whitman? And then I looked up the poem thing, or whatever the quote is, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's Walt Whitman.
Oh, well, yeah, because he says the phrase. That's what it is.
Yeah,
He's
he
like,
says the phrase.
He's like, and it's like, by the way, or he didn't say by the way. He's like, because we live in a twilight world. And he's like, what is that, Walt Whitman? And then he like hits him for like playing dumb or some shit.
Yeah.
All right, so they discover the inverted bullets, and the guy's like, oh, I don't see this as like world ending. And then she explains it further, and then where does he go after that? Oh, he goes to find out where the bullets are made in India, and then that's when he meets the lady.
Yeah,
That's also
the
where he
lady
meets
arms dealer that, or well, they
What's
think
the
it's
guy?
a dude, but then it's the lady.
the lady's in
Right.
charge of whatever he's looking
Yeah.
for. And then that's when we meet Neil.
Neo. I kept thinking they were saying Neo, like
Me too.
from the
At first I
Matrix.
thought, but then the more they said it, I was like, oh, it's Neil.
Neil.
No, I didn't catch it until like later. I was looking at videos like TENET.
I think it's because
stuff,
of
and then
British
there's-
accent. So Neil.
Not even because I could have sworn the
Neo.
protagonist like
Listen,
said.
what am I
Neo.
saying? Neil. Neil.
It sounds like him meowing.
Neil. Neil.
It's because you have
Neil.
cats, dude. You
Listen.
have too many cats.
No, okay. remember you said not fucking jazz cat. Not a fucking jazz cat.
Oh, we didn't have that recorded. I just said that to you over the phone, huh?
Yeah, because we're talking about like music for the documentary, and then I was like, oh, you should put. Oh, it was for the recap, and I was like, oh, you should put like something, you know, like that. And then I was like a wow wow wow, and then he's like, no, not fucking jazz cat. And I fucking died.
Yeah.
All right, so he meets Neil. They breach the tower, and then Neil, when he's like occupying the security guards, like holding them at gunpoint so they don't like sound the alarm. He's like, "Don't let that get cold," while the dude's eating. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
He's like, "Don't let that get cold," and he's like, "Yeah." So then after that, that's when they find out about the art gallery. I think. Oh no, that's when they find out about Michael Crosby, and then Michael Crosby leads them to the art gallery, and then that's when he's talking to the lady at the restaurant. Then her husband's
right. Which, by the way, that lady at the restaurant, if she seemed familiar, it's because she was from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. She was part of that
and
race.
Great Gatsby.
Right. She was. Who was she in Great Gatsby?
She
was she
a
the
tall
friend?
woman. Yes,
she was a friend, right?
Obvious.
Oh yeah.
I'll put her on screen right now in those two roles.
Yeah, no, but she was the golden woman in Guardians of the Galaxy that was hitting on Chris Pratt and was just like, hey, what's up, baby? You want to make some more species and shit? And like the main one. The main hoe.
The main hoe. I don't even remember that part in that movie, to be honest.
Anyway, you were saying about the...
So they're at the dinner and then they start talking and then you find out about the art piece because Michael Crosby brought it up, but that was his leverage to kind of get to talk to her. And she's like, oh, this is what my husband holds over me.
Michael Crosby?
Michael Crosby, Michael Caine.
Oh, right. I forgot that his last name was Crosby and his...
I think you mean Sir Crosby.
Yeah.
Or he's like, I presume you mean Sir Crosby. Presume away. And then he tells... It's that joke about
that whole interaction was great.
The joke about the Brooks Brothers. Like, Brooks Brothers won't cut it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's him that comes up with the comedy pieces, but I feel like they're subtle, but they don't change the tone. Like, you know...
He's very good at, like, that very, like, dry British comedy that fits.
I think that's what
everything.
it is. It's dry British comedy. All of his movies, that type of dry British comedy that, like, it doesn't... change dialogue. It just added and then you keep going.
I think that's why, like, sorry, going off on a tangent, but like I think that's why he was great as Alfred, because I've heard somewhere that the way you write Alfred is the subtext for everything he says is "fuck you, Master Bruce." So everything's always a dig at Bruce Wayne and the way he is. And, like, that's why some of the best lines that Alfred has is, you know,
digs.
Yeah, digs at, you know, Master Wayne is like.
And that's where some of the jokes are in the like, Dark Knight series, huh?
Not even just the Dark Knight, but like in Batman vs Superman, I think, where he's just like, "You'll drink the whole family cellar away. The next Waynes won't inherit it." And he's like, "That is if you fucking settle down," or something like to that effect. But yeah, Michael Caine does that dry wit really well. It's like, well, you Brits don't have a monopoly on pretentiousness. He's like, not a monopoly, more like controlling interest.
Yeah.
All right, and then that brings us to the airport scene. He gets Neil.
And here's
so I'd love to do video, but like my thing editing video for a whole hour will probably blow up.
I agree. Anyway, here is the crisp,
I
open,
could probably do video, but
ASMR sound of a
So,
White Claw opening.
what were we talking about? Okay, the airport scene. They go to the airport.
That clipped. All right, sorry.
We go to the airport scene because that's where the lady tells him that her husband visits like a bunch of times, 4 times a year. And we think it's because of the art piece, because he's got to make sure it's good because that's where he's got it. Or she presumes that he's got it there.
Uh-huh.
So then, you know, they do the whole thing. They blow up an actual plane.
Yeah, that's an actual 747. I jokingly mentioned that, and it's been said in the YouTube comments, but that Robert Pattinson's, like, you know, proposing that plan to the protagonist is what, like, Nolan said to the studios, where it's like, you want to crash a plane... Not in the air. Don't be so dramatic. On the ground. How big is the plane? That part's a bit dramatic.
That would be funny, but here in the behind the scenes interviews on YouTube or the BTS.
No, I saw that they were like, they weren't as hesitant. They were just like,
no. Here, Christopher Nolan explained his idea, and then he's like, "Oh, we'll do it practically, like a tiny scale model if we have to." Sure. But then the guy was like, "I can get you a plane. How big do you want it?" And he's like, he thought he was joking. He's like, "No, how big do you want it?" And then he's like, "Oh, okay, word."
Hey, yo, when you tell your girl you want to try something, and she's like, "Yeah, let's do it," and you're like, "Oh,
word, word."
So they crash the plane. They're doing their like holding their breath practices.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
He's like. And dude, I was holding my breath part of the way through that, and then when they broke the thing, I was like,
yeah, I need to breathe.
listen. These are the main characters. You know they're not gonna die, but I was like, fuck. I was immersed.
Me too. I was holding my breath the whole time. I was like, I'm freaking out just like them. I know they're gonna be fine, but like, I'm not.
It's like that thing I did when I was a kid. Is I was like, oh, like these crazy stunts in movies. Would I be able to do that underwater? Would I be able to do this?
Well, you did that too. You
I don't
held
know.
your
Yeah,
breath.
I don't know
when they
why I
did-
thought did that as a kid, but so and then they go to a thing, and then after they're done with all the airlocks, Neil's like, "There's someone in here," and then they find out the first turnstile,
Yeah.
and then there's bullet holes, and then
What's
people-
happened here hasn't happened yet.
and then these two people pop out, one inverted, one regular. Neil goes to chase the regular, and then the protagonist is facing off the inverted. And the way it's moving both times, it's like what the lady said. The inverted things move on instinct. And if you really think about that, if you put that in your head, every time an inverted person is acting, it's all instinct.
Yeah.
So he fights the person, then he's like about to kill him, but then Neil's like, no.
Wait, hold on, real quick. Can you expand on the instinct part?
So the lady was explaining that like the inverted bullet acts on instinct. Like you didn't drop it, but if you gesture that you dropped it, it'll pick up on your hand.
Oh, okay. So it's
Like, you know how
almost-
she was moving it? She didn't do that before, but when she was doing that, it's like she just did. Because, like, if you reverse the video that she was recording, it's like she was pushing it.
Right.
So I think that's what you have to think about. Like, with inverted objects, they act on instinct in
So-
order to comprehend in the regular world.
So it's kind of like when like you draw like on a tablet and like the draw line is like a little lagged because it's like trying to catch up to like what you're doing.
In a way, yeah. Especially with the fighting scene.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
what happens after the airplane? I want to say that's when they meet, what's his name? Sator?
Yeah, Sator.
And then what's her name? The girl, Kat.
Yeah, Kat.
She thinks that the art piece got blown up, but then he's like, "Oh, you didn't think."
Oh yeah, he served it to
Yeah.
one of her silver plate. That shit was.
And then she
hard.
has the
Like,
person
"Here you
open
go,
it for
B."
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you didn't think I was gonna leave that there?" He's like, "You know, I always had a future instinct about these things."
Real quick, can we just say that Kenneth Branagh has like the most best beard ever? That
Dude,
shit
he's not
was
even Russian. He's like
full.
British.
I know. I've known that, but
I didn't know that. Where else is he from?
He's from Hamlet from like 1990s, something like that. He did like a production of Hamlet, like film. And then
Wait, did he put on some weight for this role?
Huh?
Did he put on some weight for this role?
Nah, I think it's just
Bro, that
water.
might just be him.
Yeah.
No, because I
he was
thought
also-
in the Hamlet
That
that he
was a
did, he
while
was a
ago.
lot
long
thinner.
That was a
time
while
ago.
ago.
Yeah, I guess he was a lot younger, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was also Gilderoy Lockhart from Harry Potter.
Okay.
Chamber of Secrets. The teacher with like the poofy hair that all the girls loved. That was like a liar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gilderoy Lockhart. He was also.
I can
Thor-
kinda
he was
see
also-
the
He was
face.
also in. He directed the Thor movies, the first two, Thor and Thor: Dark World.
Really?
Yeah, but he's also directed other stuff too. I think he directed Romeo and Juliet as well, with Leo and whoever else that lady was.
Pop up on screen. Oh, it's Claire Danes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's like, how'd you know that? She's also in Terminator. the
Hold
third
on,
one.
how'd you know that? It's an inversion pincer move.
I've always had a feeling about the future.
Oh yeah. No, say it like a Russian. I've always had the feeling about the future. That's not.
I'm
Russian
gonna
at
leave
all.
it at that. That sounded a bit better. Anyway, and then we're gonna skip the parasailing part when he meets the Sator. He's like, "Oh, the opera house," because I think to some sense he knew that Sator like was the main one behind the opera house. Hence the guy turning bad, and then him wanting the thing. Because at the end he just wanted the algorithm, right?
Yeah.
So and then he has an interest, and then builds a relationship with both of them, Sator and then Kat. The whole boating incident, and then
Oh, yeah.
he wants to like get in business with him, like with the gold bars, and then he's like, "Oh, you got to get the uranium," and then because he's like, "Oh, the CIA is usually buying, not selling, right?"
Yeah.
So they do the what do they call it? The freeway thing.
Oh, the freeway heist.
exchange.
So look-
Oh yeah, the heist. Yeah.
So listen, they successfully captured the algorithm, and now they're taking it to a site to like contain it. So then it's like top shelf secret, can't get it, like a supermax prison for stuff like that. So then they're like, okay, let's steal it for him, and then he gets Neil, they get a team, they get a fire truck, some other trucks to get this convoy and smash him in. While the protagonist gets on a fire truck, gets the thing, blows it up, gets back in the car, and then they drive away. And then as they're driving away, they hear something on the radio. He's like, I was like, what did it say? He's like, I don't know, I can't understand it. He's like, I thought you spoke Estonian. He's like, no, it's backwards. That's when the whole inversion part happens, the inversion car chase.
Yeah, and then like it gives you a little hint too because one of the what's it called, the side mirrors has a crack in it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You're just like, where did that come from?
As they're
Oh,
driving.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then, they're at the end of the car crash. They're trying to save Kat. Then they get jumped or ambushed by like a battalion. I don't know how you say it. The convoy.
Yeah, basically.
He's like, what convoy? And then, the protagonist gets captured. Then he gets taken to a site where Sator was the whole time when they were monitoring.
Red and blue site.
The red and blue site when they were monitoring the whole exchange ship.
Yeah. By the way, Facebook kept serving me ads for this watch company called Hamilton, and it kept like advertising the official watch from TENET, and I was like, this shit looks hard.
It's like, stop.
You know, I saw the price and it was $2,000, and I was like,
nah,
I might take out a mortgage. Like shit.
No, I wouldn't.
Have you tried AdBlock Plus?
I just have regular ad.
No, it was on my phone.
Yeah, it was on the phone. And it's a little different.
Yeah.
So they go to the red and blue site. Then this is when it starts to get complicated when they go to the red and blue site. I think you guys can agree with me, right?
Of course.
A little.
I think it got complicated as soon as the stuff started driving backwards, and you're like, wait, what the fuck?
I feel like that serves with you
anymore?
on like, oh, I want to understand it, so you spend more time thinking about it, and that's how.
I would honestly say, as soon as the protagonist really discovers the potential of inversion and the turntable, everything starts to make way more sense. Turnstile, sorry, starts to make a lot more sense, because then you're watching the highway exchange again, but reversing. You're like, that's what that shit was.
Yeah.
At least for me personally.
All right, so let's make this quick.
You're absolutely right.
He's telling the protagonist, where did you throw the algorithm or the uranium? What is it called?
It's the algorithm.
It is the algorithm.
So the algorithm, and then he's inverted, and then the thing's translating regular, but Kat's not inverted, so she's got a mask on. And then, he shoots her with an inverted bullet, which in the beginning, it's that one lady said, like, oh, an inverted bullet is dangerous. It could possibly kill you. So she gets shot, and then he goes into the turnstile. And then that's when a present Sator goes in the turnstile, and then whoop, it's empty. He disappears, and he's like, where'd he go? He's like, he's in the past.
Yeah, she did need the thing inside the that side, right? Because she wasn't inverted.
She wasn't inverted. So then they invert. So they bring her out to the regular side, take off the mask, and then that's when the squad pulls up, and the protagonist is like, it's like, how did they know? Did you set this up? It's like, were you working for him? And then that's when, it gets revealed, like, no, it's a pincer move.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Antonio Johnson. It's a classic pincer move.
It's a classic pincer move. This is
one
cowboy
team
shit.
goes through, the other team does the reverse.
No, it's one team. One team goes through, then they invert
it, then they come back the other way and form the other team. Classic pincer move.
Classic pincer.
It's a classic. I just learned about this shit 2 days ago, homie.
So look,
I just learned about it 2 minutes ago, dude.
So look,
fuck.
Protagonist feels that it's important to save Kat, but at the same time, it's also important to the plot and his mission, because Sator, the connection. So they go to the turnstile, they go up to the other side inverted, and they're like, how much does she need? A week? And then it's like, where are we gonna find another turnstile in a week? They go to Oslo, the airport.
Yeah.
So that's their mission, but then protagonist is like, no, I need to make sure he doesn't get the uranium, and then Neil's like, look, what's happened. You're probably going to give him what he needs anyway if you go that way.
Yeah. And real quick, they actually, when after the whole thing happens and they have to go into the shipping container and go back a week back to Oslo, Neil talks about like a whole bunch of like what's it called?
Or like
not necessarily phrases, but
theories.
Like theories, and also like
which I feel like it also helps understand too.
Exactly, not just theories, like general understandings of like how time travel works. And honestly, I understood it even more the second time because I was trying to help my girlfriend with her philosophy homework, and it was talking about time travel and grandfather paradoxes and the closed loops and all that stuff, and I was like, I get this more now the second time.
Listen, you bringing that up reminds me, the first time I watched it was with Christina. So when we watched it, we had just been watching Dark, or we'd been watching Dark, so watching that, it made sense.
Yeah,
I was like, this form of time travel is like what's happen, or like, you're going through this, like that one Harry Potter movie.
Yeah,
the stuff that you go through first. It's basically
Azkaban,
yeah. So the stuff that's happening right now has already happened, and they're gonna do it again, like a loop.
Right.
So they go back to Oslo. Say, like you said, he's talking about the theories, and then they go back to Oslo, and then it turns out like the protagonist was the inverted person.
Yeah.
So they get through there. Neil gets Kat through the thing, and then after the whole reverse fight is done, Neil's like, he's got Kat, and then the protagonist is like, why didn't you tell me? And then he's like, I don't want anything to happen differently. And then they go to a unspecific place.
Yeah.
Kat's okay, she's alive, and they're like, oh, mission accomplished.
You know what's funny?
And they're a week back.
Yeah. You know what's funny though about
so they
the
technically
whole,
time travel.
right? But you know what's funny about the whole like their concept of time travel? Christopher Nolan in any movie that deals with time ends up in the closed loop paradox, where it's like something happens, but it's not clear how it first happened. Like let's say in Interstellar.
Like in Interstellar, you bring up a
Exactly.
good reason. So he's like, oh, you can't travel back through time, but you can send messages.
No, that's still the casual. I think it's the casual loop paradox, where it's like, how did that loop start? Because the only reason they're able to travel back in time and send Cooper back in time is because of fifth dimensional beings sent that information. But the only way to get that information was from fifth dimensional beings. How did they get it? They got it from themselves, and it's this whole loop of where did it start, where did it end? It's the chicken and the egg paradox. I'm not saying it makes a movie bad. I'm just saying he falls into this paradox each of his movies.
What I wanted to explain this is kind of like somebody started it, and now because of that, like in Dark, it keeps happening. Like there's different people. It's kind of like Looper. The original Bruce Willis or Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He wants to go to Paris, but then Bruce Willis is like, no, you want to go to Japan, but he's like, no, I want to live my own life. It's a loop, but it's different people, like realities combining, so it makes these loops.
I was actually going to say the one movie that does time travel and gets it like the time travel for the most part well until the very end, and you'll know what I'm talking about, is Endgame. Because it
deals with different realities too,
with the multi-universe theory, where like you can't change your past because it happened, because otherwise if you change your past, it will affect what you've just done. And Christopher Nolan does the whole like what just happened has happened, but how was it able to happen if the reason it happened is because you interfered?
So what I want to say is that somebody back then created it, and then we'll get to this after I explain the ending.
You mean forward?
Well, here's what happened. Somebody started it, but we're in the middle of it already happening, and it keeps going, but we don't know how it started, which is fine. So,
but we know how it started. We started it, but we could have only started it because someone else told us about it, and we told the people to tell us about it. Exactly what happens to the protagonist. It's a paradox, because you can't find out how it started, and you're not going to know how it ends because it keeps just looping. That's the paradox. Yeah, and I just wanted to address that because it's one of those things that you just can't think about.
All right.
Robert Pattinson says it himself. The grandfather. You're talking about the grandfather of the paradox. If you do something, like if you go back in time to kill your grandfather, so you're never born, then how is that possible? Because you had to have been born to go back in time and time travel and kill your grandfather. So if you kill your grandfather, you can't travel back in time, so therefore you can't kill your grandfather. So then it's this paradox of like, how does it work? It doesn't. That's what paradox is.
So I feel like my answer related to if this was based off of my knowledge off of time travel from movies.
Sure.
I feel like if you did go back in time to kill your grandfather, it would create another reality where there's a reality where you don't exist, but you're existing in your reality that you created.
Right. And I also want to address that paradox. Then that means you doing that means nothing because you are still alive.
Exactly.
And that's like the cruel truth about that. Real quick, wouldn't that be a great like elevator pitch for like a time travel movie? It starts off with someone trying to kill their grandfather so they're never born,
and then they live in a world,
like they just keep trying to like change things, and then it's like a whole like message for like self-acceptance,
I guess,
or whatever.
So
or something like that shit.
Can you go through the last big thing and then like the plan or whatever?
Well, okay, so after they leave Oslo, right?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, let's address Oslo. Turns out the protagonist was the one that went through the turnstile.
I told you that.
Yeah, we already went through that.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so.
But
they meet up with the TENET squad.
Right, with Aaron Taylor-Johnson, with the red and the blue squad.
Red and the blue squad.
Red versus blue.
And red's regular, while blue's inverted. They go through the plan. The blue's like in shipping containers because they don't want them to see them. Because they don't want to like influence future outcomes, so they kind of block them off because they already went through it.
Yeah.
So then they're talking about like setting their clocks to 10 and then it'll count down. It's like by the time it counts down to 0, you better be like at the LZ.
Pickup zone, yeah.
The LZ.
Landing zone.
So Aaron Taylor-Johnson, the protagonist, are on the red team while Neil's on the blue. They land in, what's it called?
Somewhere in Siberia.
It's like, it's that place that Sator found like the original uranium and the gold or whatever.
His original like paper
hometown.
town.
It was his hometown actually.
Yeah.
So that's where it is, and then he plans to kill himself in Vietnam, so they go back a bit more while they're like on that one boat.
Right, so they all go to the same time, but they send one team out to Siberia to dispose of the algorithm, which is a collection of those cubes that you saw from the beginning.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, that's what that was?
You know what I just realized is really unrealistic about that?
The time travel?
No. They threw all these helicopters at Siberia, and they didn't get instantly shot down by Russian anti-air missiles.
Listen,
by violating Russian airspace.
You got to look at it this way. They've already done a pincer move, and they've already dealt with that.
I mean, you know what? I mean, you're right. Like, obviously, they've got.
I
Some
don't know,
don't,
you get hung up on these small things.
Don't look up into it too much.
I love how you get hung up on these small things, and there's the bigger, like, okay, but how the fuck does inversion work? You're suspending your disbelief at this point.
I mean, I'm just saying.
If
Like,
they find out a way to get to time to invert entropy or the chronological nature of an object, I'm sure they find a way to get through Russian airspace. That's like saying, how do you find out how to make a building? It's like, well, cool, but like, how did this thing get on fire? You know?
Okay,
I mean, but the on fire thing is important.
It's not.
All right.
It's really not.
So
Scale-wise.
they go to the final battle. Aaron Taylor Johnson, the protagonist, go to that one tunnel. There's a car honking at them. They go in there, and then they see that one Russian dude. I think his name's Yuri. I looked it up.
Yeah, let's just call him Yuri.
His name's Yuri. Anyway, so then the Sator's on the boat with Kat, our Kat with the gunshot wound.
Yeah.
And then you remember how earlier it was like Kat says like, oh, I was envious of the girl's freedom that was on the boat with him. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Ties into here because, once she gets him, she dives off with the body and then past her sees that. So that's what she
It's
saw.
one of those things that makes you go like, oh yeah, it
But
makes you feel smart for paying attention.
No, but it
earlier.
also makes you feel like, wow, she was envious of your future self without him.
Right? There's a message in that.
There's a message in that.
Yeah,
Anyway.
there really is.
So Aaron Taylor Johnson and protagonist get work done
Don't
by
simp, ladies.
by the help of an inverted Neil. They at the last second pull out the algorithm before it blows up, while Neil pulls him up with the thing because he went back to normal instead of inverting because he was inverted. Pulls him out, game over. They win. But Kat killed Sator before she should have. But they still found a way. And then that's where the movie ends. Then Neil says like, he's at the end of his line of his mission while the protagonist is just halfway there because the protagonist at that point, later on, that's when he meets Neil, and he's the one that started Tenet. And like Neil says, the whole pincer move was his operation.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into fucking. Okay, so what would you rate this movie?
Damn, you really just recounted the plot of the whole movie, didn't you?
So then we could just freeform and I don't have to worry about
Hey,
it.
can you get me another White Claw, homie?
So, what would you rank this movie out of tacos?
Out of tacos?
How many tacos are we starting with?
Just
How many tacos can you crush in one
just
sitting?
Listen,
Dude,
we
I
talked
could
about this
crush,
last podcast. It doesn't matter what the number is. I'll just rank it from what I think it is.
Okay.
And then you agree with it, then we agree with it.
All right.
Oh, that shit.
How many
is
tacos?
15 birria tacos, 20
Birria.
chicken tacos,
Okay, so
50 carne asada tacos, and like 20 al pastor tacos, and dos tacos de lengua. I don't like them, but I'll eat two of them just
So
watch
what
this
I'm gonna
movie.
rate that is a C plus because if it's that cheap, it's not that good. No. All right, I'm gonna
really?
rate that. What would you rate that? Give your grade.
Honestly, here's my ranking for Nolan films. Dark Knight, Interstellar. It's probably my it just barely out of top 5.
So my ranking for them, Tenet, Prestige. They're like right there. Because I feel like once I get Tenet and watch it more, it'll like surpass it a little bit. It'll be my number 2.
Yeah,
Prestige.
I did have to watch Prestige twice. Well, I've watched it
Dude,
more
honestly,
than that.
watching Prestige again after knowing the thing, you're like, how did I not notice that was?
Yeah.
Let's not put spoilers in there.
That,
But you're just like,
that's
how
not what
did I
this
not
video is
notice?
for. This is not what
Yeah.
this video is for. We didn't do it last week. We're not gonna do it today. All right, tacos.
All right. So we're doing 9 carne asada tacos.
I already got your grade, so just put the tacos.
Street
up.
tacos. All right. I want to say 7 out of 9 tacos.
I'm gonna say that's like a B minus.
Okay.
Okay, mine 10 out of 10 tacos. That's an A plus plus because I love the movie. All right, so the open siege. What didn't you get about that?
The opening
opening
scene
siege at the opera.
at the opera.
No, I said I didn't get that, but you.
I also did not get some
I
of it.
didn't get it the first time either.
Yeah, it was,
It was a CIA mission, is what it was, and
Yeah.
it wasn't important. It was just a cool way to open the film with action and momentum.
Exactly.
That carried you through.
You got.
Yeah.
It's like you got to start the films with like action. It's like the common movie mistake. You can't start a movie with somebody waking up. It's like because just skip that
You know
part.
what's funny?
What's after that?
But you know what's
Yeah.
funny is Batman Begins literally starts with Bruce waking up.
When he's a kid.
No, when he's an adult in the prison.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
but
I mean, he's in a prison. He's in a
different.
prison.
Like that's
No, I agree, but it's funny that like
Maybe-
you can't
maybe-
open up a prison, and Nolan's like, bet, homie.
Exactly. That's what that is. He's like, bet. How do you end up in this prison? It's like, you're thinking, right?
shit.
But yeah. So the opening siege, the person who saved the protagonist was Neil.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
It was Neil because of the backpack thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of the backpack.
Dude, honestly, I didn't pick up on the backpack thing.
Until he was
until the very end.
until he was dead on the ground.
No, not even. It wasn't until he was saying like, "I'm going back one more time."
Oh
He's
yeah,
like,
that's
"What's
when I
happened,
picked up
happened."
on it.
And
Yeah.
then you see the thing, and you're like, the protagonist wants to tell him not to do it, but he's like, "It's happened. Nothing I can do to change it."
What do you
Wait, so
mean?
that
But
guy
when he-
dies?
when he- yeah, okay, so when he-
After
dying.
he had died. After
Listen.
he had died in reverse.
So listen, when at the end of the movie he leaves and he's like, "What's happened? You give him the algorithm. He goes back to invert, and then he dies when he opens the door.
Because he picks the lock, and he's the one that takes the bullet.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because the protagonist saw that the person was still moving, so it's like, oh, he's inverted, and then it's obviously Neil.
Yeah.
Because then Neil reverses the bullet shot, and then he walks out.
Right.
Damn it. I need to watch that movie again.
Dude, it's not simple just watching. Like even thinking about it, I'm still trying to make sense, especially with the inverted
Yeah.
shit.
Basically, he went inverted, then he went regular, and then he inverted himself again to help out.
Yeah.
Because he knew he had to pick the lock. Because he asked Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, like, how fast did that guy pick the lock? He's like, pretty damn fast. He's
No,
like,
who can pick a lock better than me? He's like, I
Yeah.
don't think there is.
Exactly. And he's like, well, I guess that was me, so I have to go back in one more time.
So I feel like the movie gets complicated either when it involves inversion or the turnstile.
Yeah.
When it gets really complicated is when there's a turnstile at the end and people are already inverted.
When it gets
Yeah.
impossible to understand is when you hear Priya talking that first scene when she's talking to Neil, because you can't hear her for shit.
When?
When she's walking down the street talking to Neil, and like I don't know, you just can't hear her
You mean the
clearly.
protagonist?
No, Priya, because she's talking to the protagonist.
That's what I'm saying. You said she was talking to Neil.
Yeah.
Why don't you
you're
ever
right,
remember
you're
what you
right.
say? You're gonna
Bro.
feel dumb when you watch these podcasts. I'm
I
not
don't
gonna cut
watch.
this out.
I don't watch them. I listen to them, dummy. No, but I'm like 3 White Claws in deep, and I'm a lightweight nowadays.
But yeah, the turnstiles, and then Priya's like when the protagonist goes back a week, and then he's like, "Oh, you're gonna tell me to lose the thing." Oh, remember? Okay, so I forgot
No,
to
not
mention
that
this.
time. It was the time before when he was in Mumbai. But go ahead and talk about
So
that.
the protagonist, he's the one who started the whole operation. He's telling Priya, he's like, we're not working for the same person. We're both working for me in the future.
Oh,
so then
yeah,
he kills Priya.
yeah.
Remember?
To tie up
Yeah.
a
Bro,
loose
that was
end.
savage.
Bro, this was the best Bond film that wasn't a Bond
It's an
film.
espionage.
Exactly, that's what it was.
Dude,
you,
listen,
You listen
I
to
feel
that
like-
intro to that extras like whatever interview that Nolan said. He's like, I just want people to feel the same excitement that I felt watching the Bond movies for the first time, and him kind of being like, hey, listen, whoever runs the Bond franchise, you fucked up by not having me as a director.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I feel like-
at least one movie.
I
Listen.
gotta admit that was a pretty Bond moment. He's like, "You're working for me." I just like expected the.
So here's the thing: when you mentioned the Bond films, the best director that's done the Bond films, I feel like that we've seen recently, and it's one of your favorites, Skyfall. Why? Because it was Sam Mendes.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning thinking, what's that one movie with Jake Gyllenhaal? I was thinking The Hurt Locker. I had to look it up awake.
It was Sam Mendes.
It's
Yeah.
Jarhead. Sam Mendes and Roger Deakins.
Right. Roger Deakins
The rest-
is a great cinematographer.
The rest after that, the Jarhead sequels, dumb because it doesn't have those people because they're like, nah, bro, it's just a one-off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the studio's like, no, it's a franchise. And they're like, not with us.
Not with us. See, they have integrity.
Exactly.
So, dude, the windmill pods with the protagonist, I was like, bro, do they just have a bunch of their CIA people in those
I
windmills?
didn't even think about that until now.
Bro, that's what I was thinking because he was just living there and waiting there.
Oh my god, they just have a whole bunch of agents just waiting their turn.
I
there.
would like to think that Christopher Nolan put that, so then we think, are there agents in all their windmills?
That
Because he
or-
wouldn't just put that just cause.
Or
Yeah.
maybe he put it because it's a cool location. People are like, there's windmills in the sea? That's pretty dope.
Also because of the boats
Yeah.
Right.
to travel through the seas.
Yeah.
It was weird how like that boat was traveling backwards though. I
It was weird
tripping
how the
out.
boat was traveling backwards, but Neil was just... Not Neil. I keep trying to say the protagonist, but the protagonist was just fucking
Just
doing
say
pull-ups.
John David Washington. John David
Denzel's kid.
Denzel's
That's
kid.
shorter.
Sure, whatever. You can say that. He
Honestly-
says whatever he thinks.
Honestly, pretty good actor. I
He's a
watched
pretty
him
good
in-
actor. We've
Black
seen the Black
Klansman?
Klansman.
Really
And
good.
then after this movie, so Christopher Nolan was saying that he was like, he's like, oh, I never write somebody in mind when I write these movies, but like I had him in mind. He's like, I really wanted him. Yeah. And then him saying like, oh no, I want to do all the stunts. I want to get immersed as possible.
Yeah, I remember seeing that too. Yeah.
In the thing, and then Christopher Nolan's like, it's gonna be hard because like he did his own stunts, and
honestly,
that's hard work.
It's a hard work too.
Yeah, exactly. Something I noticed when he was doing the first inversion fight with the protagonist.
Yeah.
I saw white under his sleeve, so the stunt double was white.
Movie breaking. 0 out of 10, homie. Can't watch it again. But no, I was also thinking about that too. I was like, well, Homeboy's now wearing like a rash guard or some shit that comes up to like right here.
I know. Why wouldn't you?
I know, like something like that. You know,
just
what I mean?
something to cover the wrist.
Yeah, something like he has gloves.
Well, they even said like the suit is supposed to protect you from touching yourself.
No.
Exactly.
You don't explode.
I'm talking about movie aversion. Like if I see a white sleeve, it's like, oh, it can't be inverted him. It's a white dude under there.
No, I know.
Because even they had the black lens when you didn't know it was him, and then when you did know it was him, it was clear.
It wasn't. I don't think it was black lens. I think it was very reflective, or some shit like that.
Just something that you could, something that wasn't clear.
Yeah.
Neil, something that Christina pointed out is that Neil, because look, we've seen Good Time.
You know what my girlfriend pointed out? That he's got a very square jaw, and I was like, hey,
I pointed that out too, and I got called gay for that. God damn it. You know why I think he was so good in the Twilight movies? Because
he was handsome as fuck.
Because that square jaw is like, bro, he's ready to bite somebody, bro.
Oh my God.
I don't think it was you saying he's got a square jaw. I think it's you saying he's ready to bite somebody that made someone say that you were gay. No, but I agree though. Homie could get it.
So what Christina was saying that his clothing choices.
That's what Naomi said too.
In one
She's
point,
like, he's got really nice suits and shit.
No, what Christina says, like, what the fuck? He looks raggedy as hell. Because, like, in Good Time, you know how he looks raggedy.
No, I agree, but I think he looks like rich kid, like raggedy. Like where even though he's like raggedy, he's got style.
Sure, but what I'm saying is that she pointed out that like he's wearing a suit and then he's got like shoes that don't match, and then she's like, he's wearing a fucking flannel under that suit. Like, what the fuck?
No, there was also one where he had his tie and like the skinny part of the tie and the fatter part of the tie just weren't together.
I was like, bro, put it together.
No, but I was just like, nah, that's just gonna make people thirst after him. That's like that. I know how to dress, but I'm gonna be lazy about it.
That's that I don't give a fuck attitude.
That's that I got taste, but I don't give a fuck attitude.
Yeah.
And then that one room in Oslo, it had the red and blue. I feel like it's just a color choice, but at the same time, I guess if it was a real thing, you do that to distinguish the invertedness, because like red's regular and then blue's inverted.
It's crazy though, because that room in Oslo didn't have an inverted air like.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because at the airport, it didn't have it. Okay, so in the airport, it didn't have it.
Yeah, you know why? It's because probably that's one of those rooms where you have to go in with your oxygen tank, and when you invert yourself, you also invert the oxygen in your oxygen tank.
No.
And that's how you get inverted air, you know?
Probably. But what I'm saying is that when he's at the red and blue room at Sator's place at the warehouse or whatever, there's an oxygen tank in there, right? Because he gives Kat an oxygen tank so she can breathe.
You guys are right. I do have to go take a bathroom break.
Okay, hurry up.
And
don't hurry up. Don't hurry up.
Anyway, boy, season 2 was pretty dope. Just a commercial break.
All right.
We're gonna take a commercial break 5 minutes before we're done.
All right. So have you seen any Netflix shows?
I've been watching Castlevania.
Have you seen Dark?
No.
Listen, it's in German. Is that a ruin for you?
I mean,
because listen,
I don't know.
It's in German. You could read subtitles, or you can have the English translation. I saw all 3 seasons in German. There's like 10, 8, and 8 for each season.
What is Dark? What's it about?
So I mentioned time travel, right?
Oh, okay.
It's a big thing.
Okay.
If I was to recommend Dark to you, I would say if you like Tenet and you like what it is, it can get complicated.
Okay.
But one of the seasons, season 3 at the start and at the middle, it does get kind of boring, but I feel like it's kind of biding its time until the big end.
Wow. Yeah.
But
that happens.
But I mean, we saw Cobra Kai. Did you see the season 3 teaser?
I might have. I don't know if it was really that. I saw the one that came out like maybe a month ago.
I don't know if that was it. I want to say it maybe came out 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So season 3 trailer. The season 3 is going to come out in January or February of next year.
Okay, lit. I'm gonna watch that.
So at the end of the teaser, it shows Miguel waking up.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Damn. And then throughout the like end of the trailer, like Cobra Kai, and then when he wakes up, it goes like never dies. So
that's what Miguel says when he wakes up in the hospital room in the trailer?
Holy tits.
so then Johnny Lawrence is.
Hold on, no spoilers. I haven't finished season 2 yet.
No, well, season 3 is not out yet.
You haven't
Right.
finished season 2?
Yeah.
No, I'm
finished
on the
season
way.
2?
I'm on the way. I'm almost done.
I spoiled it for you then.
No, I've already seen the clip of that teaser trailer that Miguel ends up in the hospital or something like that.
Yeah.
But I've only gotten to the part where that's why I haven't even watched the last podcast because I don't want to get it spoiled.
We didn't even go through that specific, but what wrecks it for me is that like
Damn, it smells like ass and feet in here.
now the thing with JL, you know, JL. Now that you know
Johnny
he's
Lawrence, cool.
now that he's not with
Cobra
Yeah.
Kai.
I'm like, what does he do?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know.
Damn, he gets kicked out
Dude,
of Cobra
listen,
Kai.
I had a dream that like
I blame myself for
everybody-
not finishing this
shut up,
myself.
Shut up. Listen, I had a dream that I was like, look, Cobra Kai, Miyagi-Do, they just joined forces and they just have fun doing karate, and I was involved in it. And then I woke up, I was like, what the?
Yeah.
I was like, is that season 3?
I think
You get cast in season 3.
I think what's going. Here's my prediction, and Roger, you're gonna have to just like go. No.
Go ahead. Listen, it's my fault for not finishing it. Okay.
All right. So
Just
I
like
think,
how I'm gonna spoil it the boys for you. But go ahead.
you son of a bitch.
You said you would watch it either way if you did.
No. Well, I am gonna watch it anyway, but I just don't want spoilers.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, like, I'm giving you a chance.
What's your reason?
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I am of the firm belief that unless it's like very contingent, like if it's very, what's it called, reliant on the fact that it's a plot twist, I can probably still enjoy it. I can still enjoy a Nolan film even if I know the plot twist, but it's better if I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyway, I think what happens is that Johnny Lawrence is going to just specifically train only Miguel. I think that's what's gonna happen, and then they'll probably
He'll
end
do
up.
like his Miyagi-Do thing.
Yeah, it'll be just him and Miguel, and then Miyagi-Do will kind of do their own thing.
But part of me feels like it's not the same without Johnny Lawrence and the Cobra Kai, because it's like it's not just like it's like when Michael Scott left
The
Dunder Mifflin.
Office.
Not The Office.
Well,
Dunder
okay,
Mifflin.
Dunder
Mifflin,
Mifflin.
he was on his own.
I get what you're
Right.
saying. I think
It might be, you know what? Not that I don't know. This could all be because I haven't finished the season, but it could be one of those things where obviously he trains Miguel, but then they retake Cobra Kai.
Yeah, maybe something like
You know
that.
what I mean? Because Cobra Kai responds very much to power, intimidation, and force. And if they show that they're better and like more, powerful than its current leader, they're like, he is wrong. We are right. We beat him. So you see that we are right.
But I feel like
Because that's how they got their students was Miguel just kicking ass. Sorry, go ahead, Hassan.
But I feel like part of the reason that they joined Cobra Kai was because they were like, bro, show no mercy. They responded to that because some of them were bullied.
Yeah.
So I feel like what's happening is like, Kreese, that's our boy, right? Because he he'll do whatever it takes to win, and we feel that same mindset. Which I think at this point it would just be Aisha, because I don't think I saw Aisha in the last episode. Aisha and Miguel that wouldn't be in that Cobra Kai. But what if Miguel can't walk because he had that thing on his head? Is this going to be like another what's that one? Live for this or fight with this? That one. What's that one actor from the Fantastic Four, the crappy one? Miles Teller. That one movie with Miles Teller
Hold on.
being the
You
boxer.
can't say the crappy Fantastic Four and
That
not
doesn't-
expect
that
that to
doesn't
narrow it down.
That doesn't.
Listen,
narrow it
I'm not
down.
saying that I didn't enjoy the first two, but they weren't great.
But you're telling me that the third one would overshadow the other ones? Like, if I say the
No.
bad one, you're not going to think of that one directly.
If you said the terrible one, yeah.
Listen.
If you said the bad one, I'm like, which one?
If I said the okay ones, you would know which ones I'm talking about, right?
It'd be
Listen, if I said the okay ones, which one was the first one that comes to mind?
yeah, probably the first one.
But you would also connect it with the second one. If I said the bad one, which one would you think of?
Fuck, dude, I don't know.
The third one. I'm just gonna answer
mean,
for him.
no,
Not the third one. The fan forced it.
I would think of like the second one or the third one. Yeah.
The one that no, I'd
Well,
say
even the first one's not that great.
I would say the one that sealed the Fox deal for them.
So I guess watching Tenet a second time really helped me understand certain things.
Absolutely.
But the most complicated part to comprehend is that last part.
The algorithm?
No, when
No.
they're in Russia.
No. Wait, yeah, right before the
I forget what it's called though, but it's that one place that he was talking about.
yeah.
And then they got a turnstile there too.
Right. Oh yeah. That honestly, that did seem a little bit like well, isn't that convenient? Like it's like that Deadpool 2 part, like scene where he's just like, well, that's just lazy writing.
So something that I was thinking that kept me up one night was the thought of inversion. Hypothetically, not theoretically, but let's say I went into a turnstile tomorrow because I wanted to prevent. Let's say if my car got stolen, what if I wanted to prevent that, but it got stolen a week ago? I'd have to go back a week, but I'd have to wait inverted a week until the event happened, and then maybe I could stop it while I'm inverted.
Hold on, you know what would be crazy is if your car was stolen, and then in trying to stop yourself like from getting it stolen, you realize that you were the one that stole it.
So listen, you brought up that grandfather paradox, but like I said, it's got to start somewhere. So listen, hear me out first.
That's the thing.
Listen, hear me out first.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm inverted. I stop the car mugging while I'm inverted, or I go into a turnstile and then I'm actively stopping it, and then maybe I go hide while I have to wait a week. I have to wait a week until I go into that turnstile, and then I disappear, and then I pick up my life a week older.
Yeah. That whole thing, though, like, let's say you actually stop the car mugging, but then you realize that you're the reason why you don't have a car for, like, that whole week.
But how would that make sense?
What was that, Jose?
Instagram.
All right. Hey, maybe get off your phone and don't be on your phone during the podcast, please and thank you, unless you're looking up topics. No, but, like, I was going to say, it's kind of like that thing from The Time Machine. You remember that movie, Jose?
Never saw it.
You showed it to us. You literally showed
it to us. The Time Machine with Guy
Pearce. Yeah, it was Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce.
When was that movie?
You don't remember the Time Machine?
It was like from 2000.
It was like back then in like the 18 somethings, and then he built a time machine because his wife died.
And then he tried to stop it, but you showed it to us. You fucking whore.
Never saw that movie.
You've seen it.
That wasn't me.
That was you.
Never me.
You have two people saying it was you.
That doesn't mean you're right.
Dude, wow. You should be in politics, homie.
I've never seen that movie in my life.
You have.
You showed it to us.
No, I haven't.
You showed it to us.
I've seen the beginning of it, and that's it.
I'm pretty sure it has Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, it does. It actually does.
Guy Pearce.
I don't know who that is either.
Gamora.
Oh,
okay, so
the other blue chick from Avatar.
Yeah, I remember.
And then from Guardians of the Galaxy, the green.
That just said Gamora.
Sorry, my bad. Anyway, so he built a time machine that you sit in.
No, but what I was gonna say, right, about Time Machine.
I mean, I know what movie you're talking about. I just never seen it.
The point I was trying to get at with the Time Machine is that it's one of those things that it was even mentioned in Flash, where it's like time corrects itself and finds a way, to correct itself. He tries to like save his wife from dying, but she ends up dying anyway because that's what's happened. It has to happen.
Exactly.
That's and I think maybe that's kind of what's it called? Like what would happen with time travel? You can't really mess with time. It's just going to happen the way it's going to happen.
But that's
you
the
just
thing.
change the way it happens.
But that's the
like
thing.
Like you said, like with the car, stopping it from being mugged. But now you know it's not mugged, but it's yours. Go ahead.
But hear me out. In TENET, they do a whole pincer move. TENET and the protagonist do a whole pincer move to keep making sure that the algorithm doesn't fall in the wrong hands.
Exactly,
and it
because
keeps happening.
The algorithm doesn't destroy the universe in time and space because they're obviously still living. If they weren't still living, they obviously didn't succeed.
Exactly. That's why he keeps doing it to make sure that peace is in order.
That's an answer to the casual loop paradox. I think is that time happens. Way it happens.
Jose, what he's explaining, it's like Dark. It's like one of those things.
Have you seen Dark, Jose?
I was explaining to him. Have you?
No.
Yeah, I thought so. Anyway,
you.
Things that people keep doing, they think they're doing it differently, but it's falling right into the hands of what's going to happen, and then the past people have already done. So. Tell me something. What's something that you didn't like about the movie, watching it the first time?
That it's quiet as hell, and that
what
it's
you're
hard
talking
to
about is
follow.
the dialogue, like you can't hear it?
Yeah, you can't hear the dialogue, yeah.
I mean, any thoughts, anything that stood out to the movie about you that resonated with you or something?
Well, sometimes the way they spoke was a little weird. Like, they were like, da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da.
You didn't feel natural?
Yeah, it just didn't feel natural.
Bro, that's what Joss Whedon's movie feel like to me. Like the first Avengers.
Dude, I get it. You don't like Joss Whedon. That's fine.
He's a fucking... What do you say?
He's a misogynistic
hack. He's a misogynistic hack. Is
honestly,
exactly
there are a couple of peer-reviewed articles calling Joss Whedon a bit misogynistic, even though he has quote-unquote strong female characters. It's still like,
I feel like that's an excuse or like a crutch.
Anyway, that's going to do it for us at the Overanalyzer over here. We have Acel to my right, your left, Jose to my center, your middle. And we are signing off on our TENET review. Real quick, just a letter grade. What do you guys give TENET? I give it a A minus. Just wrap it up. A minus.
A plus plus.
B plus.
All right.
Like
always a contrarian.
Play us out.
Oh, hold on. No, not yet. Let's do our free boozy booze giveaway. Shout out one person.
So,
by the way, real quick, I want to make the announcement that someone actually finally claimed theirs.
No way.
Yeah.
Yes. Acel, do you want to?
Gabriel Gomez, my friend, he watched the podcast because I think it was boys related. He said, tickle my balls. And then other friends try to say, like, oh, I'll get some Henny. And then Gabriel's like, it's not how that works.
Yeah.
And then I even mentioned him too, but he didn't say the word.
You know what? Just because I'm so excited, I will give my brother $10 to give you something
bro,
else.
Pick like a choice IPA.
Huh?
Oh, pick somebody else? Yeah,
No, I will give you $10 to give Gabriel something else to drink because I'm so excited that he was our first person
to tickle our balls.
Listen, if you're listening to this, which I doubt it because you haven't seen the movie, I appreciate you, but you're not in this one. But
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Happy birthday. No,
Regardless, you don't have to listen to this part to redeem it. But I will say this: now it's time for us to nominate the other people for our boozy giveaway. I nominate my coworker, Pedro Castro, because he's for sure not going to listen to this, so it doesn't matter.
I nominate my fellow old filmmaker coworker Bryant Moore, if he watches this, because this was our channel. If
I love how he's half the name, but has nothing to do with the fucking channel now.
If you claim this, what's happened's happened. If you say that to me, you'll get a drink of your choice.
All right, yeah, that's the phrase. What's happened happened.
What's happened has happened.
No, what's happened
in any way
happened.
that you say it.
What's happened,
or what has happened has happened. Whichever.
Or it do be like that. No, that's too common.
All right, that's my phrase. If you say that, then you claim a drink of your choice.
Happened.
Bottle, or
handle, bottle, or cans, or bottles.
I mean, I think I got some Patron somewhere.
No,
but you got to nominate someone now.
Oh, I nominate my coworker Leo.
I love how you just piggybacked off me nominating a coworker. That's for sure not going to listen to this.
I was definitely already thinking about Leo before you even said Pedro.
Damn. I will see you in copyright claims court, sir. Anyway,
Can't
have a
prove
good
anything.
night, good morning. If I don't see you, have a nice week. Goodbye.
And
what's
that's
that?
been
Play us out.
The Overanalyzer. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Ba-da-da-da-dum, dum, 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 dum.
Burn down the night.